Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Always, and welcome back to UniversIO. In the last episode, we made our first kind of big machine, which was the dissolver. I almost said compactor. I wanted to make the compactor, but we couldn't because cake. So in order to make these machines, we need to, wrong button, recipe. We need to get some various runes, and there are two other alchemistry machines, the combiner and the compactor. And both of these effectively require the rune of winter, which requires cake. And cake requires eggs, unless we make it with chemicals, which sounds like a delicious cake. But ultimately, I haven't seen a chicken, so I don't know if there are any chickens in this world, in Earth. But I haven't seen any, and so no eggs, and that means no cake until we have other machines. Now, I've done a little bit of work off camera, mostly just getting the materials together to make the other two alchemistry machines. I have mentioned before, this base is going to be refurbished. I don't like living in the Nothingness area, and as much as I like the look of this base, like, I actually do kind of like the way this is kind of shaping up. It didn't get very far, honestly. It's been busy. It's been a busy month, but yeah, we're gonna restart our base in the other world, in Earth, and I think it's gonna be a lot easier and a lot better. But that is when I have time. And I don't have much time right now. So, what we're going to do today is we are going to continue with the alchemistry stuff, and I want to go ahead and start trying to use these guys. So we obviously have the mana flux field, which we made last time as well, which presumably, I don't know exactly how it works. I've never used it because I've always had better options. But it uses the mana burst from our mana spreaders to generate RF, which is needed to power these machines. So we have a little bit of work to do. I have, the machine casings, the finished PCBs, and the compressed iron for both of these machines. We need to get some runes. Rune of Winter, Rune of Air, Rune of Gluttony for the compactor, and the combiner requires Wrath, Autumn, and Fire. So let's go ahead. I made another set of all the basic runes, the tier 1 runes, just because we kind of needed it. And so in order to get the Rune of Autumn, we are going to need some leaves and a spider eye, plus basic runes, which we will get back. No problems with that. And eventually we're going to make a bunch of runes and all that, but right now it's a little bit challenging. I don't think these guys give leaves, do they? No. It's a little bit challenging right now just because mana is a little bit of a concern. We don't have copious amounts of mana right now, but let's grab our shears. We're going to have to sleep in the bed for a bit. And we're also going to need, oh right, I forgot these require Terra Steel. It's not a big deal. We're going to need 4 Terra Steel. But the only thing that's kind of bad with that is we are going to need more gold, as I don't have any more gold right now. And I don't have enough EMC for a bunch of gold. What is, we can take a stack of lead, and that'll give us a good bit. 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So we just need to turn this into the ingots, and then we will use that to make the mana steel so that we can make what we need. So the other rune that we're going to need is the rune of, let's see, Gluttony requires winter. So as long as we make Gluttony before we use winter, that should be a problem. Anyways, those are the same thing. Wrath requires winter as well. Okay. That is at least nice that it's just 2 winter runes. So we only have to make, effectively, we only need to really worry about the autumn and the winter for other things. So we're going to need snow and wool. Wool we can get with our shears. Snow is a question. So how do we get snow? Water. Water and the pure daisy. Okay. That is surprisingly easy. So once we have our gold, which we do, it's just going to be a matter of waiting around, honestly. So let's get these. And the reason that we're leaving this place is because of gravity. I really dislike that mechanic. It makes a lot of Botania really difficult. Also, not being able to place water in the world is really annoying. And honestly, yeah, we need to move out of this place. I'm going to keep this wooden section because I think we'll get more planets later. I'm not entirely sure. I believe this is one of those mod packs that hides everything in NEI, but yeah, we'll figure things out. So let's grab some water, and in order to do this safely and not to destroy our pure daisy, we are going to make a little bit of living rock, and we're just gonna get a little bit of snow. Now, I don't know if snow becomes anything else with the pure daisy. It does not look like it. We can infuse it into ice with a conjuration or alchemical catalyst, but yeah, not really something I care too much about right now. So let's go ahead and sleep. And once it is daytime, we can go get some leaves so we can make the Rune of Autumn, and we can find a sheep, shear the sheep for the wool that we need for the Rune of Winter. And then all we need to do after that is actually use our mana flux field and get some mana so that we can turn it, well, get some RF from mana so that we can turn some chemicals into cake. And that's not going to be too difficult. We just need to get the chemicals themselves, which might be a little bit of random chance. So there is some snow. Is it enough? It is. I can never remember if you get all of your materials back when you break snow. I feel like it used to not. We're gonna need 4 living rocks, but we can go ahead and throw Spider Eye down, and we'll make the Rune of Autumn while we're just sitting here. So there is a sheep over there, and there are trees here. Let's just grab a bunch of leaves because why not? Oh, because it doesn't vein mine or whatever the mod is. I can never remember what mod does what, and it's called something else. There's vein mine. There's also what is it? Excavation. I can never remember which one's in which pack. They're basically the same thing. So let's go grab this sheep and shear a sheep. We just need a piece of wool. Doesn't matter what color or anything like that. Alright, cool. So we can make the Runes of Autumn, and that will be nice and simple. And honestly, getting the cake for the Rune of Winter is not going to be the hardest thing ever, but it is going to take a little bit of work. So the Autumn also requires fire and air, because when I think of Autumn, I think of fiery air. I'm not sure about that one, but it works just fine. I'm going to throw some coal on the Endo Flames. We want to make sure we have as much mana as we can get. And in fact, we have it for a reason. Let's go ahead and throw the Blacker Lotus in there. Alright, so this is ready for its final piece. And my inventory is full. Right. So let's put fire. I will put the Autumn in there for right now, just to get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and make our Terra Steel. So iron, copper, and mana steel. With our amazing spark, it takes no time at all. And it's just a matter of throwing these onto the ground and picking them back up. So, alright, let's head to the Earth, and not the Earth, let's head to Nothingness. clean up the inventory just a little bit. And when we're going to need one piece of wool when we want to make the cake, because that is kind of the big deal. We need 3 calciums, cellulose, protein, starch, and 3 sucrose. Most of those are pretty easy to get. So, sucrose comes from sweet berries would be awesome to have right now because that also gives us cellulose. But the option that we're going to go with is the obvious. Where is it? Is it literally the last thing? We're going to use sugar because it's a 100% chance. We need 3. I do want to see sugar cane can give us sucrose as well. It doesn't matter if we break it down or not. So we'll take 3 of those. That is the sugar. Calcium we can get upstairs. Cellulose we can get from logs, 100% chance. Alright, I guess we'll just do that. That'll be easy enough. Let's just verify this way. Yep, that gives you cellulose. And we're going to need starch. That can come from wheat, I do believe. And potatoes. However, wheat is a chance, and it's a 5% chance. That's terrible. Potatoes is not much. It's better, but it's more likely to give us potassium. The question is, do I have potatoes? I do not. We will be able to make potatoes here soon. That is kind of the nice thing with Alchemistry, is being able to make, especially the basic Minecraft stuff. So we'll take a little bit of wheat and hopefully get some starch. And then the last thing is protein. Protein is actually pretty easy. Basically any meat is good for that, but also, where is it? I'm like 90% sure. Don't make me a liar. Oh, it's cobweb. I figured string would be able to be used. It makes keratin. Okay. That is fair enough. So we can use slime balls. Slime balls would give us sucrose as well. But I think what we're going to use for that one is zombie flesh. If it's a good chance. It is 3 guarantees. So yes, it is a very good chance. So we're just going to take that. Alright, so that should be everything once we grab 3 calciums from up here. Calcium is over here. I know my periodic table pretty well. And then we can hopefully get the chemicals we need, make the cake, make the Rune of Winter, and use it. So, this is the question. I'm not entirely sure how things work. So we're going to put the mana flux field there, and we're going to put a dissolver right there. It should connect, I'm hoping. And we're going to aim that there. Oh wow, that's actually good amount of power. Okay, cool. So we'll throw in the rotten flesh. That will give us protein. Sugarcane gives us sucrose. And wow, we got lucky. No, that's cellulose. Wrong thing. We don't need the wood then, because we can get cellulose otherwise. I did not mean to do that, but that's okay. So we just need to let this run until we get the starch, and hopefully that's pretty quick. But otherwise, that's all we can really do, is just wait. Go get more wheat. We have plenty of wheat, so that's not a concern at all. But a 5% chance is kind of awful. Yeah, we're going to need to go get more wheat. And we're probably going to need a lot more mana. We do need to watch that. I might have to set for a bit and produce more mana. But we have plenty of wheat. So that's not an issue whatsoever. So, once... How are we doing on the mana? Okay, it's actually not using too much. It's kind of nice. So eventually, we will get starch. I don't think there is a better way. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. We have the starch now. And we have the 1 cellulose. Alright, so we should be able to make cake. And there is the cake. Perfect. I'm going to go back to the base, and I'm going to just go ahead and EMC that. I'm going to learn it because not having the ability to do anything with that is going to be awful. And I'm just going to burn everything else that's there because why not? That is kind of the way we get metals right now. Iron, gold specifically. So it's kind of better to use it like that than anything else. Now we just need to rotate this around. Cake, wool, 2 snow, and then we need water and earth. So water and earth. I had to make, I mainly made the tier 1 runes because we didn't have any more earth runes because we had used it last time making that machine. So let's make sure these guys continue to get plenty of fuel. And there is the rune of winter. So now we need to make gluttony, which is fire in winter, and wrath, which is earth in winter. So we already have earth on us. So there's the first one. And I'm hoping we have enough mana to do everything that we need to. If not, I will cry. I will have to cut and we'll come back once I do. But yeah, this is going to give us 3 more machines, and then we can do more stuff. And we can kind of get into various, like, there's a lot of paths we can go with these 3 machines. They're going to do a lot for us, and one of the first things I'm going to definitely want to look into is, let's see, we did wrath, which is the earth. Yes. So fire is the other one. One of the first things I'm going to want to look into is getting more reliable RF that doesn't require mana, because mana for us right now is just awful to produce. If we look at Britannia, the big key to getting better mana production, in my opinion, is probably the Kekimuris plant, which is where are the producing plants? Are they mixed in? We might not be able to see it yet. Like I said, they like to hide recipes, but the Kekimuris is there. So the Kekimuris requires pixie dust, which requires elven trade, which we could actually do. That's surprising. There must be something, and I bet I know what it is. Alright, so water, earth, let's get all of those put away. And for the compactor, we need gluttony, winter, air. Gluttony, winter, air, and then autumn, fire. Okay. So I hope we have enough mana. I will tell you guys what, I don't think we have enough mana. So I am going to produce a bunch of mana. I'm going to look into a couple of things, and I'll come back once I'm ready to make the 2 machines. So be back in a little bit. Alright, I have a lot more mana than I did before, so hopefully this is enough. Otherwise, it's going to take a while, but let's go ahead and make these machines. So in order to make these, we need machine casing, finished PCB, block of compressed iron, and then these 3 runes. And that's going to make one of the 2 machines. Which one? I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, please make... Alright, well, we have a combiner. That is probably where we're going to stop for today, at least for now. And honestly, the combiner is pretty important. It's used to make quite a bit of things, including blaze powder. However, looks like I'm going to need to get a lot more mana, and I don't have any more charcoal right now. So, that's a little bit of a problem. So let's see what else that unlocks. So graphite, reactor glass. Yeah, so we are getting into one of the big things that we're going to probably have to do relatively soon is making Alchemistry's reactors. So there's two different reactors, a fission reactor and a fusion reactor. Fission takes elements and splits them. Fusion takes elements and combine them. So those are both really important things. However, it's gonna be a little bit before we can get a lot of that kind of stuff. And those also take quite a bit of power, so that's gonna be a little bit of a problem as well. So I guess I need to start making a ton more charcoal. I looked a little bit into whether or not we could make any different, like, whatchamacallit. So these are mana producing. This one is a potential. Requires a rune of mana. We'd lose our rune of mana, but I think we might make this one. The Rosa Arcana, however you want to say it, is a really good flower for generating mana. And we definitely need to have a little over the first tick. Now, it also wants us to make a couple things. So let's go ahead and put these onto our kind of list of things to do. I still need to make apple pies. We'll work on that another time. But we're going to need carbon for graphite. And graphite is really important because not only can we make blaze powder with it, with germanium and sulfur, but it's also how we're going to get, let's see, we need graphite dust, I believe, which then becomes diamonds. So diamonds are kind of important. So if we want to make the blaze powder, let's get this quest done as well. We need 2 graphite, so we're going to need 8 of those. How many sulfurs and germaniums? 8 of each. Now, germanium is one I'm not super familiar with, and it doesn't look like we have any, actually. Germanium is 32, comes from nether bricks and nether rack. Let's grab this for a second. Where is it on the elemental table? Underneath silicon. We do not have it. Alright. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of work for that. Sulfur should also be over. Yeah, sulfur we have. So germanium is one that we're going to need to produce. And we can get that from netherrack. So we'll go ahead and use that. I believe, anyways, we can dissolve that into sulfur, gold, phosphorus, and germanium. It's not a good chance. But I think it's really good from netherwort. That's an interesting. And crimson nylium, which we can't actually get because we don't have silk touch. So let's take half a stack ish of the netherrack and see what we can get, and then we'll go ahead and complete a couple of more quests, and then honestly we might have to wait before we can do too much more. So 4 carbon makes a graphite. And that is that quest completed. And then it wants us to make graphite dust, which requires 8. Yeah, this is expensive. However, it is EMCable, which is also pretty good. Now, if we want to make the Rosa Arcana, we need, what is it, 2 purple, 2 pink, 1 lime. So 2 purple, 2 pink, 1 lime. The rune of mana, and water. Let's go ahead and get these all in here. And with some seeds. We can get a Rosa Arcana. We'll put it there. It knows about that guy. And if we just stand next to it, it's going to steal our levels. You can see all of our experience points are just being sucked up and put into mana. So this thing is really good for that. It's actually one of my more used... I like using the Rosa Arcanas. If you have a good way to get experience, it's a really good flower to use. However, you need to have the experience. So it's kind of good, kind of bad. So I'm going to take one of the graphites back, and let's go ahead and try dissolving some netherrack and see if we can get just one germanium. If we can get one, we can produce as many as we want. Zinc oxide we'll take back, and there we go. We have one germanium, and I think we have all those other things. That was a quest apparently, and I think it's a quest I can't actually see. Interesting. Oh no, it's one of these quests. So germanium is new. That's kind of cool. We should be able to EMC it, and at the very least we can get the quest done for the blaze powder. So germanium is 32. It was underneath the silicon. Yes. And all of these things are going to be moved eventually, but we need 8 germanium. And I also want to, we're just going to burn that, and I want to learn graphite. If we can get, whoa. By the way, you can save recipes, entire recipes, which is kind of cool. But also a little bit, you know, disruptive at times. So that is good. I need to make sure that we kind of keep up with whatever we can EMC. It'll be good in the long run to be able to quickly and easily get anything that we need. So first things first, we're going to put 8 graphites to get a graphite dust, which is also EMCable. And then this guy to make blaze powder. And oh, because I'm in the other quest. I was like, why did it pull up the periodic table thing? It didn't. I was just confused. Okay, so we have blaze powder, and so graphite leads to diamonds and graphite ingots. Now, graphite ingots are smelting the graphite dust and is used for reactors, big reactors, and other things. Okay, but diamonds are a little bit more important. Diamonds are used for a lot of things, and one of the big things that I want diamonds for relatively soon is the drawer controller. Would be really nice to have diamonds for. So let's get some more mana. I don't think we're going to be able to make the other machine today, but I think we've gotten to the point where at the very least I can comfortably, you know, say that the episode has been productive enough that we can go on and do something else. But I kind of want to get diamonds. Let's see if we have enough EMC saved up to get enough diamonds. We need, so we learned the graphite dust. In order to make diamonds, we need, how many of these? 16. There are 9. We can grab a couple stacks of silver, or just one, because I still don't understand why we can't grab as much stuff out of these drawers as we'd want. So let's grab 8 more of these guys. And I just want to kind of see what's coming up with the... We can't even make the diamonds yet because that requires the compactor. Unfortunate. So we have the stuff to make that, but let's take that out for a second. I don't really care if we use too much charcoal. I have infinite charcoal at this point. It doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and make the graphite ingot and see what that gets us. Nothing right now. Okay, so we're going to call the episode here for now. And yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. So I need to get a ton of mana, and that's going to take a good bit of time. And I'm going to try, no promises, but I'm going to try to start moving everything over into the overworld, into Earth, and start setting up a base. I do kind of like this, but we're probably going with a completely different design. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't like having slabs usually, because slabs are annoying. But we're going to get some sort of a base going on and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!